All right, welcome everyone to today's Explainer. I am absolutely pumped to dive into this one with you because we're breaking down what is honestly shaping up to be the ultimate international sporting event. We're talking about a massive rugby league takeover happening right smack in the middle of Nevada. Whether you've been a fan your whole life or you're totally new to the sport, our sources paint a picture of an event that goes way, way beyond just the game itself. We're looking at the NRL Las Vegas 2027 season kickoff, and let me tell you, it's generating a staggering amount of global noise. Actually, to really grasp the sheer, unapologetic energy surrounding this whole thing, you just have to hear this fantastic quote directly from our source material. They called it the duck's nuts, the full bottle, the absolute bee's knees of NRL hype. I mean, that is some incredibly colorful Aussie slang right there, but it brilliantly captures the completely feral, off-the-charts anticipation for this season opener. It tells us right out of the gate that this isn't just another fixture on the calendar. It's a monumental event that's going to have fans going wild from the Australian coast right into the outback.
Okay, let's get right into Section 1. NRL hits Sin City, the 2027 season opener.
So this 2027 kickoff, it actually marks a historic fourth consecutive year of the NRL Telstra Premiership launching on American soil. Think about that for a second. Taking a domestic Australian sport and cementing it as an annual tradition in Vegas is a massive logistical and cultural feat. And according to the reports, this fourth iteration is gearing up to be bigger and louder than ever. We're talking about an enormous capacity of 65,000 punters packed into Allegiant Stadium. In previous years, these Vegas openers have been absolute sellouts, completely converting over 30,000 Australians and Americans right on the spot. It's not just a stadium, it's an arena custom-built for a mega event like this. So when exactly does this Bondi thunderclap of event happen? The date is locked in for February 27th, 2027. Now, for the fans actually in the stadium, that's a Saturday night right under those bright Vegas lights. But for everyone tuning in back in Australia, that translates to a Sunday afternoon, or Sunday Arvo, AEDT. Getting that dual time zone dynamic pinned down early is absolutely crucial so fans worldwide know exactly when the action starts. Moving right along to Section 2, the Triple Header Showdown. 3 massive matches. Now, what's really interesting here is that the organizers have curated a lineup that genuinely gives every type of rugby league fan a reason to tune in. They aren't just bringing one game to the desert. No way. They're delivering a massive triple header. That's 3 distinct, action-packed matches stacked back-to-back. We've got 2 major NRL clashes featuring top-tier Aussie teams, followed by a totally unique cross-hemisphere edition from the Super League. Let's break down exactly what our sources say about each of these matchups, starting from the top. First up, we've got the Melbourne Storm slamming into the West's Tigers, and the narrative here is just incredibly compelling. The source describes the Melbourne Storm as this purple machine from down south that is, well, simply built different, and they're going toe-to-toe with a revitalized West's Tigers squad. Our source notes the Tigers have finally got some bite back, so you've got this classic David versus Goliath sporting narrative setup, promising absolute high-flying, bone-crunching, try-scoring madness right under those Vegas lights. Then we keep that momentum rolling right into the second clash, which brings the Parramatta Eels up against the Gold Coast Titans. The stylistic contrast here is what makes this one so fascinating. On one side, you have the blue and gold army of the Eels, led by the strategic playmaking of Mitch Moses. Our sources highlight he'll be out there pulling strings. On the flip side, they're facing a wildly aggressive Titan squad that the sources describe as chucking bombs and running like they literally have rocket boosters attached to them. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity for Eels fans to paint the desert blue and gold against a super explosive opponent. And to top off the whole shebang, we have a Super League special, the Bradford Bulls taking on the Leigh Leopards. As the source material so brilliantly puts it, the Poms are back in the mix. This just adds a completely different flavor to the entire event, bringing that gritty Northern English footy straight into the Nevada desert. It's a proper cross-hemisphere dust-up for sure, and it ensures this triple header has real global representation. Which brings us to Section 3, the ultimate fan pilgrimage, beyond the 80 minutes. Because look, this event is about way more than just the 80 minutes on the game clock. It's a full-blown game day flow. Our sources make it totally clear that this is being billed as a mandatory pilgrimage for die-hard sports tourists. Think about the itinerary. During the daytime, fans are hitting the slots or taking in the famous shows. Then, as night falls, boom, it transitions into this massive NRL takeover at the stadium. Finally, late at night, the crowds pour out to hit the strip for a victory pint or, maybe a commiseration pint, alongside 10,000 of their new best mates. The city's setup just perfectly supports this kind of festival atmosphere. And getting there is half the fun.
To make this pilgrimage happen, fans have access to direct charter flights straight from Sydney via Qantas. But here's the coolest part. These aren't just your standard flights. They are offering actual club-themed travel experiences. Whether you support the Eels, Tigers, Storm, or Titans, your immersive experience kicks off the absolute second you step on that plane. And with that proven track record we mentioned earlier of over 30,000 Aussies and Americans attending and getting hooked on the hype in previous years, the demand for these specialized packages is, unsurprisingly, sky high. If you want to know what it actually feels like when you combine all these elements, our source paints an incredibly vivid picture. They describe a scene with beers flowing like the Yarra and Flood, neon lights blazing, high rollers in the suites, and the whole joint basically going completely feral every single time a player scores. It's such a brilliant, colorful description, isn't it? It perfectly captures the wild, unmissable, high-stakes energy of a Las Vegas stadium absolutely packed with passionate rugby league fans.
All right, moving into Section 4, securing your Vegas tickets, because you really don't want to watch this from the couch. Here is the crucial takeaway for the logistics. Tickets and packages are either live right now or dropping any tick of the clock. You have got to act fast and get in early. With the massive scale of the stadium, the stacked triple header, and those tailored travel packages, attending this requires some serious planning. The alternative, as the sources vividly warn, is finding yourself sitting at home, crying into your VB, just watching from the couch while the rest of Australia and the global footy community lives out the absolute dream over in Nevada. So that leaves us with one final, very important thought to wrap things up. The source text ends by turning the focus right back to the community, and I want to do exactly the same for you guys. Who you barracking for? It's a simple, direct question, but it gets right to the heart of why we love sports in the first place. With such an incredibly diverse lineup, from the purple machine of the Storm to those gritty Northern English Leigh Leopards, there is absolutely a team and a storyline for everyone in this desert duel. This 2027 kickoff is shaping up to be monumental. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and until next time, keep learning and keep exploring.